Welcome back to Occultists Anonymous, sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you.
Like you.
Thank you guys so much.
Not you.
Yeah, it's like
Not you.
You probably
just
hit the subscribe button already. To quote Corridor Digital, Kevin, it's time to subscribe. Yes, you, Kevin. I don't know that we
Andrew.
quite have the viewer count to actually pull that one off, but we'll try it anyways. But a special shout out to Adele, Al, Alan Michael, Alexander, Angfalith, Bernie, Blood Angel, Brandon, Chris, Daniel, Doc, Delore, Evil, Emil, Funzushuru Ali, George, Jack, Jenny, John, Josh, Julian, Cat Feathers, Crazy Man 1772, Melissa, Michael, Milo V3, Ms. Grumpy, Moku, Noba, Other Michael, Parker, Harry, Puppeteer, Riafia, Ryan, Shexara, Cinna, Terran, The Arcane, Thomas, Toast, Usuf Sama, Vortex, Woodsound M, Zoltan, and we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
No.
Yeah. It finds you here. Also, if you are not currently dealing with that where you live, congratulations. Why? Anyways. Righto. When we last left the Cabal, they were, well, not a Cabal. Hanging out at Purgatory Bluff's only tavern, having a little kind of chit-chat back and forth, wherein, well, when we last left, and we're gonna have a cool little time skip here. John Paul, in that particular context, was telling everybody, hey, you can call me Cloak, but also I am Legba. And let me tell you about the Astral. And we fast forward here because they did some stuff off camera, talking about how to come together as a witch coven and starting to talk about significance of alternative names and other selves that they might be. And so we pick up within the Maroon's Mine, in the swept out little kind of meditation space, basically with the coven at this point, kind of establishing their boundaries and rules. Off camera, they talked a little bit about like an oath and what they want to intend to be, but didn't really talk much about rules and like how they're going to comport themselves both amongst each other and with the town. And we can just kind of jump in there wherever you guys feel like it.
Nobody wants to start.
Okay.
So,
Cloak. Go ahead, Chris. No? Okay. I think, let's say if we're jumping in media res, Cloak has just emphasized how it's important to him that we figure out who we're going to help, and that this coven become something that is more than just the four of us. Even if we're the four primary members of it, that our interactions with each other lead to good for many others than ourselves. So Cloak would lean into Isabel and say, in order to really come together, we need to figure out, well, what are the areas of intimacy that we're still guarding and shielding from each other? What change don't you want me to see?
I mean,
Theo knows very well what it is that she's hiding, so she'll say, my daughter. For sharing. That's something I've kept. Something happened during my awakening that she can't speak.
My family.
Cloak turns to Gisela.
I don't know if it's really a secret I'm keeping, but my folks and me are cursed.
I think we are all people with scars. And we, for the most part, wear them proudly. And if we wish to allow each other further in, then that should be our choice. I do not know that it should be part of our agreement here. We can be good to each other. We can have fellowship without bearing our souls completely.
I can agree with that. There's no reason I should need to know more about you than I do, I don't think. If you ever choose to say more, that would be fine, but there's nothing impeding our working relationship.
You want it to be a working relationship?
Yes?
I have a different view, just based on my experience. And she hesitates for a moment of the name because she's not sure the context that we're in. With Cloak, the more we shared with each other and the more open we were with each other, the more we each learned and the more we each advanced. I've learned more in the last 4 or 5 days than I had in the previous year. Just by lowering barriers and sharing. We each have very different perspectives on this world that we're all part of. Learning about those perspectives can help expand our own understanding. I understand if you want to keep barriers in place and just have this as a working relationship, but I think we would all benefit more the more we share.
I've also learned a lot, but the things that have happened to me in my past have nothing to do with this magic.
But you are.
So, secrets shared willingly is something I can agree to, but emphasis on willingly.
It makes sense to me that you would like to emphasize that we are joining together consensually. I don't expect us to be beholden to each other beyond the explicit commitments we make. I was just inviting us all to recognize that, as Theo said, or no, I'm sorry, because Cloak hasn't yet received permission to say anything other than Madame Stokes. As Madame Stokes has said, we gain when we eliminate the barriers between us, when we allow the connection to build, when we allow the links in a chain to assemble that connects our hearts, our minds, and our souls. And the speed with which that happens is directly a consequence of what we share. I've shared with you my true name, which, beyond a small number of people who look like me, no one else knows. I've shared with you a lot of things I've done that I regret now, that took the lives or ruined the lives of many people who look like me. There are certainly other things I will share with you in time. And you are not required to directly reciprocate. I just want you to appreciate how I consider this burgeoning coven between us.
I would agree with you. I will listen when each of you have something to share. And if and when I feel ready to share, I will do so as well. I'm not resisting. I'm just stating a boundary.
Well, I hope as we continue to get to know each other and rely on each other's knowledge and experience, there will be few boundaries necessary to maintain our sense of safety.
Very well.
I will say, as I have mentioned before, perhaps obliquely, your secrets are safe with me, and if you ever need help with anything, I will give it to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Now, as I have shared, it is my belief that these are gifts that we have been given, or that we have earned in some way. I feel it is important that we use them not in cruelty, not in hatred. I can't say that we all will only do good in the world, but it should never be a goal to cause harm with our powers, I believe.
I like that.
Just to clarify, that is taking things like punishment off the table.
For what?
Like if we're not, I'm just clarifying, if we're never going to harm anyone.
I don't personally think that we should be the arbiters of justice.
And that's fine, I'm just clarifying.
The impression I got from what Senor Pilar just offered is that we focus on the use and exercise of our power for good, not that we consider our use of this power to dictate what choices we make. Say, for example, Madame Stokes, you wish to punish someone for harming your family. I think that doing so without the use of your power may be the best choice based on what it seems like we're trying to agree to. And I have learned the hard way that even if you choose to harm someone without the use of your power, it still leaves a consequence. It still affects you. It may be unwise.
And that's fine if that's a rule that we're choosing to live by.
I mean, I wouldn't impose that rule on you. I personally wouldn't do it, but...
Well, no, if these are things that we want as part of what defines this coven.
You have
I would
your
be
own
willing.
life outside of this. all of your gifts don't have to be beholden to what we as a group choose.
This is more a discussion of what we do together.
I guess I just have a different perspective about that. Having spent a lot of my life without any worldly power and being subject to the whims of those with worldly power. Now that I have the ability to stand up to that, to address those sorts of imbalances, I would be sorely tempted to use it to do that.
My focus was more on the cruelty aspect than the harm.
I agree with that. There's no cruelty.
I wouldn't seek out someone to punish. But if I find someone, and my powers fit into the justice that I believe exists, then who am I to deny myself being the agent of that justice?
And that was kind of where I was getting at.
Yeah.
As long as we're okay with that.
And again, I mean, out of character, it is a small little mining town. Like, I don't think any of us would be like super worried about like, well, I don't know. I don't think Isabel would be super worried about like, oh, there's a super villain out there. We've got to go stop right now.
Yeah, but from Theo's perspective, this is a mining town that's owned by one guy.
He's a decent guy.
Yeah, he's proven himself to be pretty decent, actually.
Like, Werner's chill.
Werner's great. Everybody loves Werner.
Out of character speaking, like, yeah, sure, Craig knows that, but
sure.
To Theo,
yeah, but I mean, even in character, he hasn't done anything to make you mistrust him other than exist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exist and be rich.
Theo was a slave to wealthy landowners, so.
All right. Yep.
You know, she's cynical.
She's got a thing.
I think you're right that there hasn't been any behavior on Enright's part that would suggest to a person who's maybe a little more objective that he's a bad guy. So perhaps Theo's struggling with their own preconceptions. So in character... Oh, hold on a moment. I'm sorry. Okay, great. We're good now. So in character... Cloak would look at Theo and say, Madame Stokes, I have an important question for you. What do you think is the real difference in your power and your ability to change the world before your awakening and after your awakening?
The lie that society buys into, that wealth is merit. There's no difference between a poor person who sleeps in a gutter and a rich person with a fancy house and full of staff. There's no difference between them, except the lies that they tell each other. And the lies of everyone around them that support that foundational lie. And to go against that is to go against the whole structure. This has been my experience. I understand that I have a different perspective than maybe a lot of other people.
I'm receptive to it. I am also aware of the imbalance in the world as a consequence of land ownership of people, and who has money, who doesn't. I don't think you've answered the question I really mean, which is, what's different about you? You refer to your power now as your ability to change the world, and you say you weren't able to do it before. I think the difference is that you have realized that you are no different. You gave me a description of the world and the fact that people are different. But I think the important thing is, even if you did not have power over the arcana you know, even if you were not able to speak the speech, even if you had not visited where you visited and took something back with it, from it, you would still be different. You went through a transition. You forged a new link in your chain. And that has made you new. That has made you powerful. That has made you knowledgeable.
True to a certain extent, but one of the big factors in that is the fact that my powers, our powers, transcend the lie of society. There is no definition within the rules that govern society for what we can do. It's unable to process what we're able to do, which allows us to work outside of it. Kind of how I see it. And because we can work outside of it, we are no longer beholden to it.
They've been burning witches for centuries.
Yeah, there have been.
There's ways to deal with it. There's ways to process it.
And
But have they been burning witches, or have they been burning people that they don't like?
Yes.
Doing both.
Yes.
I mean, among all of us here, who couldn't they burn?
I suspect there are people who look like me being lynched right now, as we speak. I want to return to the point I'm making, which is the realization that you can do different things matters more than the things that you can do. You are not beholden to anyone in this town. You're not beholden to us. You're not beholden to your family. You are not. You are beholden to you. You have responsibilities to others, but no one can tell you who you're supposed to be, how you should take care of yourself, or what kind of person you are, and what your human value is. That is what you've learned. Or at least, that is what I learned.
For once, I agree with him.
Stop the process.
It had to happen at some point, right?
Right? It's bound to. The coin lands on its side at least once, right?
So besides the more philosophical questions of what you guys are doing and how you are using your powers, you guys have a goal in mind for the coven?
Short term, we know that there's a danger to this town where we all either have or are setting up roots. So I think short term would be keeping the town safe.
Mm-hmm. That's more just like self-serving, though.
I have a short-term goal that's a little less higher reaching, and it might be a little harder to achieve based on what has happened between the four of us. I would like for us to meet regularly and talk.
I see no reason why that couldn't happen. We just need a space for it.
We can use this
I have a
space if you
suggestion.
want. Please.
The spring. It's far enough outside of town that we aren't likely to be discovered. It's got mana. It's also got spirits, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it is...
Say nothing of what's on the other side.
It is hidden. It is secure. Assuming we can make a door.
That won't be a problem for either.
Yeah, I'm confident I can arrange that.
But yes, as a group, I don't have incredibly lofty goals.
Mm.
I would like to protect the town from whatever dangers might be coming towards it. I would like to explore all of our powers more.
Mm.
Find out what else. The limits of what we can do, what we might not be able to do.
I don't know how feasible it is right now, but finding others like us at some point.
I can think of a way.
Can get lucky.
There is a place where people like us are able to travel. I alone of us four have been there, and I would be happy to take anyone with me again.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
And considering that I am now endowed with a responsibility over travel and over a means of getting places, it might be particularly easy for me to do so.
You describe this place as all of everyone's?
It felt like we are all just islands in an ocean of connection. And that if we can realize the distance between us, or realize that there is no true distance between us, we can visit the other islands. And then when I went deeper, I learned that there is a place that is built, at least since my impression is that it is a consequence of our minds. I don't know exactly what created it. I don't know if it has a mind of its own. I don't know if it has its own motivations. I don't understand it completely. I just feel like it is the place of thought, the collective thought.
That sounds
Real bad?
much bigger and harder to find something in than going to a big city.
You found people there, but they weren't real. How would
Wow.
you know if they were?
They feel real. They feel different. I think just as I
Did
was
you
able
meet
to
any
tell.
real people?
Sorry. No, what I mean is not that I met a real person, just that they felt like denizens of that place. I got the impression that they were of that place. I think I would be able to recognize if someone was like us, if someone was born of a mind and a soul. And Senora Pilar, the reason why I think it would be useful as opposed to going through a big city is I don't know what city to look for. I don't know how common we are. I just know that when I am in that place, I can think of where I want to be and what I want to find. And I can find it much easier than I would be able to in the real world. Or
Being
in
able
this
to do
world.
it from here is convenient. You don't have to cross the country and try not to die.
Or get caught by a
Oh, they're
slave
not dying.
catcher.
It's the easy part. I'll give you that point.
That's a fair.
Not that I don't trust that the four of us could put up quite a potent fight against anyone attempting to put me in bondage. Just, it's good to reserve that for Plan B.
Oh, I'm not clear if we reached any conclusions.
It seems that the last thing I heard Mademoiselle Bauer suggest is a combination of what we've all talked about. Meeting regularly, exploring all of each other's powers and understanding, defending the town. I might have missed something.
Do you have any other requests?
Yeah, I do have a request. I request that we declare an oath to each other, however small, or however meaningless in each other's respective minds, because that's the first link in the chain.
What would you like to swear?
Says the Occultists.
I can make your oaths mean things.
I swear that I will never let you come to harm by my hands or actions.
How serious do we want these to be? Because I can make them binding.
Meaning that you couldn't.
Shit just got real.
What was that, Drew?
I'm making a meme reference. Carry on.
What would the binding do, Mademoiselle Bauer?
I'm reading it now. So for this spell, I have to keep it active always.
Or relinquish it. Conditional duration will help, but yeah, you do have to.
It would still be spell control.
Right. But yeah,
Do you have that?
relinquishing it is probably something you're going to have to do.
Isn't conditional duration time 2?
No, conditional duration is the fate side. Time 2 is hung spell, which is the pair that usually go together. Yeah.
Right. Because they
Acanthus.
hate Acanthus.
Yeah. And that.
They should have just had one Arcana for the whole Acanthus.
Yeah, one Arcana
They-
you can toss in
they
the
go
There are
toilet.
together.
spells in both Arcana that should be the other, and it just fucking enrages me.
Yeah, forces does force things. Does it do prime stuff? Absolutely not. Death does death stuff. Does it do death? No, yeah, no, I know.
Does matter stuff with bones.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically, you can set the oath to have whatever consequence you want. Now, technically, it has to be a hex, which, can be any number of conditions, but we can definitely get into some, serious, intense, dice penalty or tilts or conditions.
Oh god, your hexes can be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Blinded.
Yep.
It's just you broke your oath, now you can't see.
Yeah, and bear in mind,
That's right.
they're represented as tilts, which means you don't even get beats for dealing with them. They just suck. You don't learn anything from it. You just get to have a really bad day. But yes, so you could definitely do the tilt of being stunned and just, yep, you're just gonna sit there until, whatever, possibly part of the oath,
I like sick as a tilt. It's just, you just feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Terribly bad for a long time.
Terribly sick because you did it bad.
Thought
You'll
it was
stop
a
vomiting
cheeseburger.
once you fix your once you fix your oath.
Yeah, that's right.
Isabel would swear alongside the thing that I wrote in Spanish yesterday when we were talking. And I won't butcher the Spanish on here, but basically through fellowship, curiosity, and helpfulness shall we meet God.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment behind the enforcement that you're talking about, Gisela. Personally, I would rather our oath be a light to guide us rather than a stick to drive us.
Well put from
That's
the
fair.
wielder of shadows.
But as long as you abide by the oath, you get a blessing.
The carrot and the stick.
Yeah. But sure, that's fine.
I think we have out of character, I think we have a good basis.
Yeah, and if we want to shift it
we're
to a little more out of character to nail down the nitty gritty of what oaths people may or may not take, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just, like I said, working together, secrets willingly shared, but never stolen. And just helping each other explore our powers, satisfy our curiosity, and explore the world.
All sounds good to me.
But first, we gotta go see whatever the fuck that thing is in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like a week from now.
It's 2 days from now.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah. It was 2 days. Now it's tomorrow.
I'm curious to look at a void in space.
A more voidy
It's-
void than a normal void.
It does seem alive.
You believe my theory, then?
It makes sense. It's behaving like prey. Mortimer had a very good point of how does it see them, but they see it.
We'll be able to tell if it thinks. Or at least I will quickly be able to tell if it thinks.
Depending on how far away it is.
Are we going to
What do
disrupt
you mean?
things if we all show up?
Well, Mortimer already assumes that you're a witch.
It's true.
So Cloak would be the only surprise.
And even then,
Probably not. Yeah.
Look up and down at him. Not that much of a surprise.
I mean, the voodoo side is, already there. Yeah.
It's like the first thing you talked about with him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think they would be surprised.
So, tomorrow night then.
Tomorrow night.
Need to talk to Jules.
I look forward to seeing his book of speech.
It's interesting. I would really like to know how he got it, what it's referring to.
Yeah.
It's a set of instructions with no starting point. So.
Did you read the whole book?
Right. I was going to say.
I read the instructions.
You were given a page the middle.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
I didn't see the beginning.
Right. Okay. Basically, flip here. This random ass
I'm going
page.
to look at the whole book.
I have complete faith that you will.
Well, if you don't have anything else, I've got a job to do.
Yep. Though actually,
stand up, brush off her skirts and stuff.
Actually, it was closer to the evening time, so kind of the expectation was that you guys left because, like I said, you guys moved over to the mine after things kind of worked out.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, this is.
I thought we were talking on Friday night, and then this was the next day.
Was that Friday night?
Either way, doesn't matter.
Yep. Time is a wibbly wobbly.
It's fake made up time 150 years ago. It's fine. 106. 70,
oh yeah, no. This was Saturday. Yep.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So Saturday night, you guys.
Oh, so it's late. Okay, that's fine.
Making your.
Then it's sleepy time, and I need to leave.
making O's to one another, but not necessarily supernaturally charging those O's up yet.
Not yet.
But everybody go ahead and take the Cabal theme merit.
Awesome.
For now, based on your discussion and me kind of boiling things down into one. Basically, this is the Purgatory Bluff Coven, and basically you can use it as a +1 persona yantra for basically doing things in service to the town, notably in service to, not just because you are in the town or because you want to do this thing and it's in town, but something that your character truly believes will help the town. Now, of course, you could be wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But on the slight bit and say in service to the town or each other.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are members of the town. Is kind of my thought. Yeah.
Cool. This is going to be real useful.
I agree with Greg. It seems like an important distinction.
Yeah, it is very, very fair point. But yeah, because sometimes helping one another doesn't necessarily help the town. So I get you.
This is good because Cloak is going to be buffing people right and left.
And just as we're breaking up, Theo's going to pull Cloak aside. And we've had some strangely intimate moments. I think it's probably okay if you were to just call me Theo.
Cloak smiles genuinely and says, "Thank you, Theo."
I got a little southern there.
I can get as southern as you want.
He's in Louisiana right now.
In Louisiana. Down there in that bayou now.
Oh, Lord.
Get some of that
Actually, I just realized
sausage.
I was talking about you coming through Houston, but I'm driving through Louisiana tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. I was planning on going to New Orleans tomorrow. You want to come down to New Orleans?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I have
Out
already
of the
have
way.
I have a 10-hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you heading through? You heading through Slidell?
I hate to.
I'm not about to discuss my travel plans on the internet.
I hate to make us play the mage game that we're here to
Right.
play, but Drew, you had said something about Isabel should have her eyes open.
Mhm.
Oh, but yeah.
Seems like.
Right. So Chris has Isabel heading off to bed. Is anybody else doing anything that night? Where is everybody going?
I just want to ask, basically make plans with Cloak.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to sort of pull you aside, and I have something I need your help with.
Yes.
It's the curse that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. How would you like my help?
You break chains, right?
I've come to realize that the best thing to do is help people break chains if they so choose.
I can assure you we do not want this chain. I just want to know if you can see it, what you can see, because I know what I can see, and I'm not sure where to go from here.
It would be my honor to help you.
Guess tomorrow at lunchtime I can get family out to the tavern. I need
After
you
church.
to look at my dad. And just capital L, look.
I can do so.
And then just let me know what you've seen.
Okay. I will. Do I have your permission to evaluate him using all of my means?
Absolutely. Don't do any... Honestly, don't do anything to him. But anyway, you might need to learn. You have my full permission.
Great. Thank you.
Great, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Mademoiselle Bauer. Until then.
And then I think, Ruff, you said you were doing something as well?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about jumping
Just trying to torture Chris as much as possible.
Let's see. Let me check one thing. Won't take long. Okay. Yeah. It's nighttime, right? People are going to sleep.
Yep.
Cloak is going to try and meditate into his Aneros again and try and find people while they're sleeping. And in his mind, the sleeping people in the coven are probably going to be thinking about the coven a little bit. And maybe about the town. And so he's going to see if what he expects to be change connecting the islands, might be more resolved, more opaque, more obvious and tangible.
Cool. All right. We'll come back around to that because my brain needs it.
That's fine. Doesn't have to take a long time. That's just what Cloak would be motivated to do.
Try and hop on over to East LaBelle and see how it goes.
East LaBelle. Yeah, that's a good one. That was a great pun. I'm with you.
I don't know what to put on this.
I was going to say, Isabel would catch Theo. I guess as we're walking back, because she's got to go even further than I do.
Right.
When you have built your house, I would love to ensure its hospitality.
love that very much.
The places in town that have been the most welcoming and the most I don't know the word. Not wholesome, like innocent and pure, but like wholesome as in like connected. Have generated their own spirits.
You're talking real quiet. It's not coming through all the time.
I don't know what's happening with my microphone tonight. I'm just...
It'd be a butthead.
What?
It's being a butthead.
Anyways, I'm gonna make sure that you got a good spirit in your house, and it's not gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
There you go. Good in-character Isabel shit.
Wow.
And just so you know, Madame Robert is, how do I put this? Not entirely pleased with me.
Oh, I know. She told me.
Oh, of course, she probably would have told you right away.
Right.
So I won't be around the tavern as much, apparently. She's already hired a replacement.
She's making a show of it.
I'm still not going to overstay a welcome. She's sending pretty clear signals to me, but...
I am so on board for some fast food restaurant drama.
Oh, can we not?
It's all right.
Gets a little too real for Chris.
Yes.
Chris can fix it real quick.
I did that today.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it more.
Sorry about that.
No, like Isabel would just make it clear that like she's of the opinion that Madame Robert's just got her feelings hurt a little bit, but she doesn't actually want to be rid of Theo.
I mean, and it's fair because you're the one who lives with Madame Robert.
Right.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed we've had talks over breakfast and stuff like that, and she'd be like, can you believe Theo just running off and making a farm and she's leaving us and like being a little bit dramatic about it and be like, no, okay, I got it.
All right.
Cool. Theo heads, one direction. Isabel is, in another. Are you? Because you made mention of finding jewels. Was that a plan tonight? Because technically they are up there, looking for stuff. You guys know that, based on drawing the card,
they're not going to find it.
Right.
No, I don't want to talk to him when he's around the others.
Okay. And I totally... Now, not only do I have Isabel and Gisela mixed up, I'm getting players mixed up. And who said who wanted to talk to Jules? Okay, fabulous.
It's a good time,
yes.
Joe.
Yeah, I know.
As Miss Grumpy would say, you're getting up there in years.
Yeah.
What?
Come by Discord. Oh yeah, no, she had a good time poking fun at my age.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Listen
your birthday.
here.
I see.
It's how she keeps her thing lit up green. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, come by Discord, eat-and-do.space. Join the bullshit. Yes, so does Isabel what is Isabel up to as like you separate away from Theo?
I think having just had that conversation about the like hearth spirits and stuff that she's seen, she wants to like just take another look just to remind herself.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah. And basically inside the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turn on the Mage site, and there are a lot of those smaller spirits that we've talked about that seem to just kind of collect in places like this. Aren't really all too active. Ganem is, pretty sporting and having a good time. But yeah, this time, especially because I don't imagine that you open your Mage site up much in the tavern, because why?
Got
There's
other shit to do.
right. There is definitely something here that stands out beyond being a spirit. Notably, hang on, let me pull up some
Ooh, a
notes.
big one.
Yeah, sort of.
Mm,
Let's see here.
I didn't know this was happening, you all.
Yeah, absolutely complete.
This is a total surprise.
Yeah. Chris picked up the Supernal Watcher merit
Weeks ago.
Yeah. And there is. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it without like pulling on like some anime or anything like that. But there is a.
Please do.
Yeah, I know. There is basically a wolf with some like Saiyan hair going on. Like this thing
Cool.
is like 9-10 feet tall at like the shoulder. So it is like the roof, you know,
It's
the ceiling
hunching.
area, right? And it is just kind of sat there kind of in a big lounge kind of thing, and the hair on it is it's long, but it doesn't do the whole like big shaggy dog thing. It just kind of sweeps up. And I make the reference to Saiyan hair. It's like it is continually running, even when it's just laying there, laid back, and just his hair is just flowing backwards. It's not doing anything other than watching you, which is, you know, for these supernal beings that you have seen before, kind of unusual, you know, from the story that Gisela mentioned of seeing the supernal thing in the mine, and it didn't notice her until she said hello, and then all of a sudden went, you know, this thing is just sitting in that, you know, kind of half sit, lean that dogs do, and just these molten red eyes, like slight glow to them, right? Just watching you, just head shifting just ever so slightly as you move about, you know, and it's just watching.
So I'm like circling around it.
Oh yeah, like there's this big. You don't hear a sound, but the definite like exhalation as it kind of shifts itself to watch you, head turning. The fur itself is just it is jet black. If there were some werewolves around, they'd start talking to you about like, you know, the big brother wolves and stuff like that. Yeah, it's got a bit of that vibe. Yes, yeah, the firstborn. It's got that kind of vibe. Of course, there's no Garu for you here to talk to. But yes, just watching. And,
Garu, I barely even know you.
But yes, just watching.
I wanna study it,
Okay.
and like at the same time be like, can you? Are you watching me? Am I in trouble? Well, we'll see.
And I'm trying to remember.
I
You
didn't
got
dance very well.
yeah, and you had the 4-dot, right?
Huh?
The
Yeah.
merit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rank 2.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
So Gnosis plus Spirit.
If that is what you want to use on him, yes.
That is what I want to use on it.
Oh right, and because we're using our alternative rules, is at a -2 opacity for the first layer of the mystery.
What'd you say?
For the first layer of the mystery, you'll understand.
Okay. Did you say I have a -2?
Correct.
Okay.
Representing that opacity. Cool.
Well, that was pretty good.
Yep.
4 successes.
Yep.
Hell
5
yeah.
dice.
Oh my gosh. All the rules for how focus mage sight just fell out of my head. 2 for, right, okay, 2 goes into 2, right, okay, I'm good. Anyways, yeah, so immediately, yes, not a spirit, and it hits you that there's barely any spirit arcana to this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this, Chris Chris understands. Isabel probably has no idea, but you are looking at a atavism.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if you're going to give me a totem or an atavism.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gonna make me study more life, huh?
Yep. And like you weren't already going to.
Maybe a little bit.
There are 5 arcana that you use.
Yeah, come on.
But yes, it is just big, raw, bestial, feral, primal power. But yeah, that initial like layer in the searching is basically, yes, this is definitely not a spirit, and understanding it is a supernal being, and specifically that it is a representation of life.
Can I try and look at under that, guys?
Sure.
Yeef. I'm gonna spend another willpower.
And I guess I should ask, are you spending mana on this?
I would like to spend mana on this.
Because this, to understand your watcher, it is at a -5 opacity.
Woof.
Or, well, it
So
is at a
minus
5 opacity.
5 opacity.
-5 opacity. Here's some bonus die.
It's easy.
That's fine. I'll just...
Roll a chance die? No, you get more than that.
No. I mean, with a willpower, I have 5 dice.
Okay.
So do I have a -5?
Mm-hmm.
But 1 success equals success?
Yes.
Okay. So what does the mana do?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I understand what you mean by success. Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, you only need 1 success to get successes. But yeah, no, you still need to whittle through the opacity.
Okay. Because the... Okay.
So there's no penalty then, right?
So there's no penalty then.
Am I just completely blanking on the rules for
opacity
50?
5, not -5 on the roll, right?
Oh,
if you're trying to
shit.
just do a revelation, then you have
Yeah, then you have the
opacity
penalty for scrutiny.
Okay, right.
There's no
But I thought you were
penalty.
like homebrewing some stuff on the fly, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
sorry.
I'm double dipping on penalties here.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
you're completely correct. Yeah, so you're using scrutiny. So yes, you just rolled normally. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a shitload of mana at it and hoping for 1 success.
Hell yeah.
3 successes. How much mana did you spend, by the way?
4.
Cool. So 7.
So it takes some
Hell
time for me to
yeah.
sit there and...
Yeah, to work it all through. So that's
Mhm.
hang on, where's Conka? Because I need to keep track of this.
No one listening says, does this look like a good boy, girl, other, and do they need head pets?
This looks like a very good boy, but do not pet.
Do not pet.
Not safe to pet.
Gotta figure out how to pet the right way.
Well, you could pet them once.
Something, genie in a bottle.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Christina
I was
Aguilera.
quoting Christina
Christina
Aguilera.
Aguilera. Christina Aguilera back in high school.
Those of us at a particular age.
That's right.
God, they showed that video on the Disney Channel.
Yep, sure did. Late 90s, early 2000s, low-rise jeans and crop tops.
That's exactly
God
right.
bless.
That's what it was.
Miss on Christina, go on Pratchett. Yeah. Very Craig. Anyways, yeah, so that initial response more or less is going to reinforce the life aspect of it, and one aspect of the supernal being itself that kind of glimmers through is that it is a representation of, or somehow tied to, like primal drives, like base, like instincts and needs, kind of thing. What exactly there? Kind of off. Could be
like hunger.
Could be, or could be like the need to breed, or
the other
procreate.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 Fs.
The other appetites.
Yeah. Feeding, fighting, and breeding.
Friend.
Oh,
But yes.
thought you meant Fritos, Funyuns, and fizzy drinks.
Man, I'm... Ooh, Funyuns. I remember Funyuns used to be a thing, and now I'm just not okay with them.
They're fun to eat.
Yeah, as you sit there for, I guess technically it'd be
12 seconds.
Yeah. It kind of actually a little bit longer because of the amount of mana you have to go through, because you're only Gnosis 1
per turn. So 12 seconds.
How much per turn?
3. Right?
No, isn't it 1 per turn at Gnosis 1?
At Gnosis
1 mana
1,
per
it's
turn.
1 per turn.
I spent 4.
Oh, you
4
only
turn.
spend 4. That's right. Yeah, I was thinking of your total die pool.
No.
Cool. Dude, yeah. It's been a day. I
It's
appreciate
okay.
you all.
You're going on vacation tomorrow. It's fine.
Thank God.
That's where using homebrew rules, right? Because typically 1 roll in scrutiny is 1 turn, so you're limited to the amount of mana
But you have
can
to-
spend in that 1 roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've...
we have to use
Yeah.
alternate rules in order to permit the spending of more mana than your Gnosis
Oh.
allows per
I didn't know
roll.
that.
And I thought that's what Drew said at the beginning. So
No, and
Okay.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good point. But yeah, I don't think we've ever done that. But yeah, because that's true. Because normally in spell casting, you just take additional
Right.
turns.
You just take longer turns,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah.
that's why
Okay.
it's specified the same way in scrutiny. But yeah,
Yep.
there's no
Okay.
reason why we can't do it the way we do
Yeah.
it, right? I'm just
Right.
Makes sense.
Yep. But yeah, good point.
Just rules are more like guidelines.
But yes, notably, you are sitting there for that time, and as you start to scrutinize it and put the mana into it, it like you. That's when you actually hear it. Kind of that, like the idea of the active mage side is looking at the fish in the tank, and then focus mage side is shoving your head into the fish tank.
Yeah.
There is this the heavy breathing, the like huge lungs, like this is just raw life, pumping through this thing. And as it looks at you, there is a big thump of a tail, just one, and a low growl. Reading that growl, I mean, I guess technically you could roll animal ken, or what is it? Animal handling. What do we have in this one?
animal
That's animal
empathy.
kin.
Ken, right.
Or
Knowledge
empathy.
of animals.
I'm okay with empathy. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I don't have either. It's fine.
I know.
Wits.
Yes.
2 dice. Nope. Yeah, and I think
There it goes.
she straight up just freezes. It's like,
Yeah.
eye contact?
And yeah, it has, every time you've looked up, it has watched, and made eye contact with you, and like the mouth has stayed closed the entire time. There hasn't been a snarl, just this watching. And probably is, I think, after you hear that growl and maintain that eye contact, head in the aquarium here, like there is a scary amount of intelligence behind those eyes. Like for big, basically wolf-looking thing. Okay, it's a huge wolf. Oh, that is some human level, beyond level intelligence, just watching you with interest.
I'd say please don't eat me, but I don't know that I could stop you if you decided to.
Yeah, I think within the realm of focus mage sight, like there is the potential to talk to it, but whether or not it can talk back, yeah.
Right.
But notably, this is one of those other further nudges of supernal summoning. It's on that other side of not quite a gauntlet, but
Right.
yep.
All right. Well. I'm just gonna like slink back away from it.
Don't turn your back on it.
Right.
Yeah. Make your way upstairs. Yep. And it is waiting for you in your room. And now much smaller, but definitely filling the room.
Huh. I'm going to close my eyes and close my eyes.
Meanwhile, Ganem has been like, while you had mage sight on, Ganem is just chatting with you and like wondering why you're not responding.
Yikes. That's one to tell the group about. It's gonna be so long till I can summon him.
Start working on your life.
I could summon him immediately if he was spirit.
It's true.
That would be too easy.
And notably, I did it because I wanted it to be more of a mystery that Isabel has to try and figure out.
That's great. Spooky ass scary wolf.
Absolutely fine. He's a very good boy. What he wants, however, that's another question.
We'll see.
Did you figure
I will
out?
place him on my shelf
Yes.
next to my other good boys that I have collected.
Yes. So as we near the end of our first half here, we return to the Oniros of Legba. Because I'm not making you roll Resolve plus Composure, because that's dumb now.
Chance for conditions, though. Come on now.
That's true. But it's also such an easy roll for you. Just there's what are the downsides to the roll? Camo, thank you. What? Drew making a plot hook? No. But notably, you make your way down into your Oniros and actually, how do you get to a spot where you can see those islands? Because like I said, your landing point is that not quite Port-au-Prince. How do you plan to go from there?
Well, the first thing is to say is now that Cloak has realized his form and the responsibilities of Legba, he's even bigger than he was the first time. He's even more himself. So that's the representation of the shadow self mirror. So he comes in feeling that. He opens a way to the island where he met his daemon. He focuses on that aspect of his, self as Legba. And he bypasses the need to get on a ship like everyone else, right? When before they said he looked like he lived here and he was confused and he was like, okay, I need to make this phenomenological jump. In his mind, it's more intuitive now. He has a responsibility and an ability to get to certain places, right? Perhaps if he's been there before. That's how he's thinking of it. It's like, I don't know how to get somewhere, so I need to form a chain of connection to get there if I don't know where it is, right? But once I've been there before, it's connected to me. I know what it is, and that's the first step. The first step is the place I want to be because I've been there and I know what it looks like. So that's what he would attempt to do. Of course, if it doesn't work that way and he has to try something else, that's totally fine with me, Drew. But in Legba's mind.
I love the idea, especially of like willing a way into existence. Like staring at like a space where you're just expecting, or is it more of a moving myself there?
Oh, gotcha. Traversing this limiting space. Yeah, how does he think of it? You know what? Chains, right? in his mind, right, where when he met Legba and Legba's on the crossroad, Legba steps on the crossroads and he goes places because the crossroads are the means of connection for Legba. And in Cloak's version, and Cloak Legba, right, Legba Cloak, it's chains connecting everything and you can walk across them. So he would get to a point on the wharf where he's looking out across the sea, and he would manifest a chain to connect him to the island. And even if it's shrouded in fog, in his mind, all he has to do is step on the chain. He steps on the first link, and he can get to the last link, because the length between them is a lie, right? He can just traverse it as though it was just two links.
Gotcha. Cool. Which I love it. It doesn't work, but specifically, and bear in mind, I love this idea that and feel free to work with me, obviously, but the chain appears in Legba's hand, and it dangles down and just reaches just shy of the dock, and you have this moment of, this would have worked in my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
As making stuff appear, just as a little bit of effort, and stuff happens in my dreams. And there's some gentleman, probably a captain, kind of walking up beside you as you're standing next to his ship. And he looks out on the ocean with you, looks to you, and says, "Good day for sailing."
Cloak looks at him and then shakes his head and says, "I'll be one more passenger."
Sure. And if you walk with him, it's the ship labeled, Exploration.
Okay, cool.
And within, moments, you find yourself actually probably standing in the captain's quarters, standing alongside the captain, looking at this chart. And it is definitely it's got some really basic landmarks sketched out, and that is a bunch of emptiness out on this. And so he's looking, and he's got charts out and other measurement tools, and there's some other staff, and he's looking, and he says, "I don't know, where do we start our search?"
Cloak. Well, he wouldn't even close his eyes. He would say, "Start our search." He looks at the map, and Cloak in his mind is looking for things that feel like, self-assurance.
And the captain looks at you and says, "Self-assurance. All right, sure." And then just starts shouting out directions, and the ship begins to turn. And within narrative time, minutes, for you, hours. And you're standing on the prow of the ship, as looking out. There is this island, and doesn't it's got this wonderful mountain range, and there's a couple of these trees just as you pass by that have this very hands on hips, Peter Pan pose. And you just see it just for a second, and then the trees are out of alignment. Captain kind of goes
weird shaped mangroves.
Right. And Captain kind of goes over and scribbles a note down, back in his chart room. Yeah. You're kind of good at this. Where next?
Epiphany.
Captain studies the map a minute. Okay, well, let's try, and out go the directions again. And minutes pass, and there is it's basically a lighthouse. There's no other things on this island other than this just sheer like rock that has a almost like a white rock, the White Cliffs of Dover kind of vibe, right?
Cool.
Just in the middle of nowhere, and this watchtower, lighthouse. I just used the damn word. A little lighthouse that seems to be built out of that same stone with this just massive sweeping beam of light. You can see like a roaring brazier up that it is, focusing through this, well, probably a mirror, sending it out, guiding everybody to, well, around it as a beacon.
Cool.
Captain's back down in the charting room and says, all right, well, what's next? The new voice.
I know where.
Oh, go ahead.
What'd you say? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't hear what you said.
Doesn't matter just
okay.
yet.
All right, cool. Great. He says, this may seem like two things, but it is actually one and the same. The next place to go is humility and wisdom.
Captain kind of gives you this look of, what? Never heard of that, but just looking over the map, taps a space, and looks over and taps another space, looking at the two of them, kind of measuring some space in between them, starts shouting out some directions. And as there's all these directions and the ship starts to turn, instead of having the sudden shift to these other islands, there's another voice stepping up, a woman's voice, and she says, I thought you were looking for your companions. Just gonna sit inside your own head here, or?
I see. Okay.
I parked this ship here for you.
Okay, why didn't you say you were here in the beginning?
I'm always here.
All right, that's going to take some getting used to, okay?
I mean, you are literally, this is all me. All of
All
this. Little guy saying,
Okay.
hey, let's go sailing. That's me. It's all me.
All right. Okay. Well, like I said, it's going to take a little getting used to. I thought I had to find you first, and then we could find the others.
Oh, no. I mean, I'll show
Okay.
up if it's necessary, and, you find, if I watch you running around like a rat in a maze, and,
All right. Well, thanks for letting me do this for hours. And I guess we'll now find the people we're trying to find.
It kind of like
Also,
steps
I'm
up.
happy to see you again, too.
Thank you. Pat you on the shoulder, and like all of a sudden she is wearing the captain's like coat and stuff like that, and it is not fit to her. So it's a bit oversized and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
looks a little bit like a kid in their parents' clothes, and starts tapping on the map, and she says, "This map is abysmal for getting to them, though. Yeah, I think you might have to grab hold of the wheel.
All right.
Who are we gonna go see?
Let's see if we can find Theo first.
All right. And like heads up with you, and standing there, beside you with the wheel, and you are dressed in like a helmsman's garb all of a sudden, and she's your boss as the captain. And she puts her chest out, got her hands behind her back, proper, and says, "Right, to Theo, by the straits of the coven."
Yes.
Make it so, number one.
Right away.
That's a reference that's not really a real thing yet. But yes, you find yourselves now. Theo, have you gone to bed yet? Gotcha. How much do you think the thought of the coven is, hanging on your mind? Are you thinking more of, Madame Robert, or heck, the house? Interesting. Damn it, if you're also making it easier for Ralph, but fine. No, you're fine. Yep. But no, you, Legba, steering the ship, finds basically probably comically narrow channel of just rock and debris and crashed ships. It's like, yeah, we don't want to go that way kind of vibe. But the water has risen enough that there is this channel that you can actually move through. I know that's not what a real strait is, before the nautical nerds came after me, and are able to steer through that very carefully and very gently. And that's where we're going to take our break while I try and figure out what the hell is in Theo's Veneros. So, Craig, if you have some ideas, chat with me momentarily. Yeah, so YouTube guys, we'll be right back. Twitch guys, drinks, water, bathroom, hydrate,
sweet,
jumping jacks, hugs some pets. Chris needs to go. Chris needs to go rescue their poor children. All right, and we'll be back in just a bit. So as the ship passes through the straits of the Witch Coven,
yes,
water lapping at it. There's a spot where it kind of gets foggy.
Ooh.
Your daemon pats your shoulder and says, "Good luck," and gives you a little push. And your chest, you feel, is about to slam into the wheel, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly you're kind of stumbling forward on a path. It's a large dirt road in the middle of a prairie. The moon is up high, lot of light. Up ahead, you see a wagon pulled over to the side. And there's a fire, little smoke coming off of it. It's very cozy, very homey. You recognize it as a wagon similar to the same one that Theo lives in. Mm. And the road leads that way, and off in the distance, you can see a road. The road continues on, and then there's a branch there, and a branch there, and down that branch, another branch. And all these different roads going off in all sorts of different ways. And there's a little like Legba, like this is some good Legba vibes. Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone near the wagon?
Not that you can see.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In D&D terms, you don't see any traps.
Yeah.
You are confident there are no traps.
Mm-hmm. You are confident there are no traps. So, Legba surveys the scene, appreciating the number of roads and the fact that Theo's Oneros is reticulate just as much as anyone else, and also recognizing that this, in a way, is the same thing as a wharf and a bunch of ships going in different directions. That in Theo's mind, connection is represented through roads, travel over roads, and it makes sense to him, right? I think he gets it intuitively from his personal interactions with Theo, and then also considering his thoughts and consideration, that's redundant, considering his musings about the nature of connection and phenomena. So he thinks the wagon's important. It's an important representation, and that the way to get to where he wants to be, in Theo's case, is he's going to have to walk the right road, and that if he has the right intent as he walks along the road, he'll eventually get there. So he first wants to go up and look at the wagon, see if there's any useful information, if it matches the wagon he's seen in real life that Theo, Catherine, and Valoja stay in. And then at that point, he just decides, well, Theo got to Purgatory Bluff by walking the long path. So he's going to have to get to Theo by walking the long path.
Cool. So when you approach the wagon, you can see that it is closed up. It's possible that whoever's there is sleeping within, or
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. They'll knock on the door of the wagon.
Cool. Yeah. Knock, and there's some rustling from the inside, and then you hear that in 1846 still rings a clear sound even today. It's the sound of a shotgun being cocked,
Okay.
and the
So,
door
right.
kind of starts to swing open.
Cool. Then Legba puts his hands up and steps off out of the muzzle fire of the shotgun, and also not too far away so that he can present an easy target, and says, "My name is Cloak, and I mean you no harm."
A old, crotchety looking Romani gentleman kind of steps out. Making faces at you a little bit. You weren't invited.
Not by you.
Nope.
But in a way, by her.
Yeah.
I've sworn an oath not to explore her secrets without her consent. And so my intent here was just to establish that it was possible for us to reach each other this way. And if you tell me to leave and not do anything else.
And interrupts you and goes, "Yeah, you can leave."
All right.
Like the gun.
May I
The
ask
gun
you
is
one
like.
thing?
Good.
If you get a chance to speak with her, please let her know that I did indeed abide by your request to leave without doing anything else.
All right.
Great. I bid you adieu.
And like he just stands there, and like the gun is trained on you the entire time. I imagine you'll just walk the way I came, kind of vibe.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And he kind of walks.
But he keeps his eyes
Following
on
you.
him. Right? Cloak doesn't turn his back on somebody with a gun trained on him, so.
Yep. And he walks. Yeah. He walks, follows you, and you don't feel like fog. You don't feel the ocean back there or anything like that.
Mhm.
But suddenly, that walk back, and then suddenly you're tipping and falling, and
Mhm.
then a solid minute of falling, and then you hit
Oh,
the
wow.
water, and it hurts, but it's a back flop. So it's like, yep,
Mhm.
that's gonna suck later. Air probably knocked out of your lungs, which is kind of upsetting
Bad.
because but you are hauled in. There's shouts of "man overboard." You are hauled up, and there's a bunch of various sailors and stuff, and there's your daemon and the captain's attire, and says, "Did it work?" Oh, and like immediately eyes as she's she has
She
the same
realizes.
memories and goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, sorta. All right, well," like pats
That
you
was my
off,
goal.
brings a towel. We did good. We count this one as a win, boys. Count this one as a win. And the cheers
This
go
is-
up from the crew.
I kept to my oath. And I also achieved my goal, which is confirming that this could be done.
Yup. Though Theo has a. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I think as she has alluded, she has some things she's protecting about herself.
And hey, if they're anything like me, might not even be on the same page.
Yeah. I think if if I have a chance, I think we can help her get them on the same page.
Not a bad idea. And we will put our little stamp
Cool.
there and
Yep,
jump
got
over
it.
to Sunday morning, which
Happy.
in Purgatory Bluff looks about the same every Sunday morning. People filing off to church, people coming out of church, especially now that this is a nice, springy day. Some folks having food out on the green. Not quite your more modern. Oh my God, potluck. But folks sitting out and having conversation and just kind of enjoying a day off. Quite a lot of miners also immediately going back to the barracks, and some shortly thereafter heading into the tavern. Is there anything that you guys are planning on doing in the daylight hours? Because I know we definitely have something planned for that evening.
Wolf still there?
Yeah, you turn your maid sight on. That wolf is sitting in your bedroom.
Good deal.
That's what I'm talking
Love
about.
that. Love
This is
that for me.
fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
That's real fun. I can sleep soundly with this.
But yeah, I feel having like a picnic out on the green is probably a good time to see if I can get Cloak to sort of surreptitiously just sort of check my family out.
Sure.
Specifically
Cool.
my dad.
So do you
Sounds
kind of
good.
like prompt your mom, like, hey, let's head out to the green and that kind of thing?
Well, I feel like that's probably normal.
Sure.
Especially now that the weather's getting nice. Like that's just what we do on Sunday.
All right, I dig that. Yeah. So the Bauer family sitting out under, very traditional gingham, blanket laid out.
Awesome.
Various, mom's not going to cook, so just a lot of, sausages and crackers. And, well, probably not crackers, but cheese. A lot of the stuff that, just
Picnic foods.
and I know Cloak is going to be coming around to check out your dad. What is everybody else up to? You don't have an immediate answer for
A little bit of gallivanting.
Oh
But,
yeah.
little-
My
A little
favorite.
talking.
Wait, gallivanting,
can-
like riding?
No.
Oh.
That's galloping.
You can gallivant, right? And then off on.
Just being
Like,
seen around
Going
town.
out amongst the people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
If I can get the chance,
Gambolin.
I'd like to chat with Jules if I can find him alone.
Okay.
But
And then Theo.
Just making plans for a homestead and
Cool.
that kind of stuff.
This is actually probably a good time that Theo can chat with.
Communicating across people.
Say that again.
Communicating across different groups of people.
Yep, and notably probably able to talk with some of the ex-miners of the from the Maroons. Might be a potential scenario. Cool. So yeah, you guys are hanging out, and yeah, we'll start with Jules, who without the sun is up, therefore there is no telescope time, and basically for Jules and Rilla, their availability and time has kind of flip-flopped. So the daylight hours are theirs, the evening hours are Mortimer's. And so, and I imagine Jules is still interesting enough, though probably not of quite the same flirtatious, interest that people are, calling him over to, come sit with us, hang out with us, talk with us, tell us about London. And it's moved a little bit from the new boy in school to more of a like, hey, you're from, across the ocean, tell us about what's going on there. Because I mean, it's probably the same stuff that the Bauer family dealt with when they first arrived, but they've been here for years now. So
what news of the outside world?
right. But yeah, I mean, especially considering your friendship with them, yeah, it's fairly easy to talk with Jules even perhaps invite him. Would you take a walk with me?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Just like try to ask him to take a walk and get him isolated somewhat, but not like inappropriately.
Oh, sure.
Suspiciously.
Yeah, because there's
Not suspiciously, yeah.
and there's all the walk and roads and stuff like that. It's easy to walk, and there's probably other couples who are doing it out where all the various women are watching. Everybody's behaving, But yeah, and probably offers you his arm, very gentlemanly, and says, "Yes, Miss Bauer, absolutely. Let's." And like, there's eyes over towards wherever Isabel is as he's going, "Huh? Is this going to get me in trouble? Am I?" But they're friends, so uh-oh.
Am I going to be used in a ritual?
Okay, and once we're like out of earshot of other people, just so you know how I said I can tell fortunes?
Yes, I remember that vividly.
I know something of yours.
Something of my future?
Of your fate.
Is there a difference?
There can be. They can also be altered.
Well, that makes me feel better about free will.
Knowing the future means you can change it.
Heisenberg isn't around. Never mind. Carry on.
That's a little before his.
Yeah.
I can see the connections of fates amongst people, where
Okay.
fates are intertwined.
He definitely has this bemused, but like, sure, I'll listen. This is, yeah.
And Mortimer is not good for you.
Mr. Bethune has been a wonderful mentor.
Personally, sure. I don't know the details. I just know that the connection there is one of ruin.
So he's going to ruin me, or I'm going to ruin him?
That is his connection on you. His connection to Rilla is one of uplifting.
But he's going to destroy me.
I doubt it's intentional, but I feel that being associated with Mortimer is in the long term not in your best interest. What you do with this information is up to you. You already know what the Royal Society thinks of his project.
That's true, but I mean, you said it yourself. You will see it tomorrow.
Yes.
Today.
But I don't know what else that will entail. That won't be the end of it, probably.
I mean, we will observe it. We'll have records of it. You will be there. I believe Mr. Enright will be called to come view it as a upstanding citizen of the community. Eventually, hopefully, we will have the entire town see it to report our findings to the Royal Society.
Chris's look.
If you think that's wise,
Why would it not be?
again, I can't tell you what to do. All I can tell you is what I've seen. I know that for whatever reason, I need to be involved with what Mortimer's doing. Again, I don't know the details. I know that there is a fated connection there.
You've been studying us. Trying to think of it mystically
For weeks?
Yeah, but mystically for weeks. You know a lot more than you were telling us.
I've only known this since a few days ago.
Since
I hadn't looked at the interplay of the fates until then.
like as like the walk has slowed and he like he finds, you know, stereotypical, like, you know, the railing in front of a home, right, and kind of leans back against it, looking at you, arms kind of crossed, very very defensive posture and stuff like that, and says, so what am I supposed to do though? I can't just leave his service now of all times.
I could try to find the details. Because again, right now, all I know is his pull to you is one towards ruin.
But yet, Rilla will elevate?
Yes.
But our futures can be changed. So it's possible that Mortimer doesn't destroy me.
I don't think Mortimer's...
It's the difference between a future and a fate.
Yeah. I don't think Mortimer's doing any of this. I want to be perfectly clear about that. It's just the outcomes, the ways that things are being pulled around you.
Kind of nods. You can see like the scientist gears. Like we joked about Jules being, you know, a little bit of a dummy, but like the scientist gears start turning, and he goes, so it's potential then, if what you're saying is true, and you have seen a future, or even my future, that perhaps it is already too late, and Mortimer is already going to ruin me.
Possibly. I can, if you like, sit down with you and try to get specifics, things that might be actionable.
Actions would be appreciated. Yeah.
Because if I know specific events, then you can change those events.
I have an idea. This is a scientific experiment with your powers. Do not tell me what the event is, but find something in my future. Don't tell me what it is. Just tell me how to change it. We will see if I can change that future.
So find something. Basically just give you advice. And if you listen to me, see what happens.
Exactly. Simple.
Sounds good. Okay, in that case, I need to cast this spell on him now that he's here.
Yep.
Because he is my subject.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look up a divination.
Gnosis in time. The target is there. It's not obvious magic, weirdly.
Yeah, I was going to try to can I basically just do it with like a palm reading as a yantra?
As a yantra?
Because I'm both touching him to do it.
It's that's a bit more into techne, but I'm cool with you using the touching, and go ahead, pluck a hair off of him, and take that material sympathetic yantra.
I only need 2, right? Instant, and then 1 for a specific question.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
1 over each.
4 dice.
Yep.
I think.
Oh no! Little
Roll
paradox.
8.
This will be the one. This will be the one. No. Take the bashing wound, and then roll your 4.
I'm going to spend the willpower
Okay, 7.
to make it 7. Oh, wrong box. Oh,
One
Jesus,
success.
1 success. Necessary willpower.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. And what is the question?
I want it to be something that is not super portentous, like not something very risky.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to think about this and come back on it later.
And to give you what he is thinking, it's something as simple as, what will I have for dinner?
Okay.
Or something similar, because you can do something very innocuous,
Mhm.
and then see
And then
if you
just tell
can
him to do
change.
something else. That's good. Yeah, that's probably a good simple one. Just
Cool. So yes, what will he have for dinner? Beef stew.
okay. I'm trying to think of an advice to give him that doesn't give away what the question was.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't
That's
eat
not-
something
Need a spoon.
else. Yeah.
You'll need a spoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to do something else.
I have a little mini thing while you're thinking, if you want. So while Isabel is, being extra and talking to everyone and playing songs for the kids and stuff like that,
Sure.
we'll swing through and engineer being close to Theo
Mhm.
for a conversation, and come up and just like right in her ear whisper, "Tell me, do you see a giant wolf staring at me?"
So just process that for a couple of seconds and sort of casually look around and not see anything.
Right.
And then I will activate the Mage site and have another little look around.
Another look around, and no, nothing. No.
I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Well, I'd say I found a big one then, or rather, it found me
If it's following you around, then it found you.
repeatedly,
Hmm.
and then I'll just dance away.
I'm sure this won't be a problem.
Like secondary Mage site isn't going off, or
fine.
perfume Mage site isn't going off, nothing like that. Okay. I am, however, going to throw a little spell out. Just a quick one as she's dancing away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of time, so no yantras or anything like that. I'll just do it quick and dirty. 1 success for soul marks.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So there's the peripheral mage site tingle from hello cat outside. Sorry. And yeah, you feel that kind of Actually, I'm trying to remember what. Oh yeah, the musical. Yeah. And I imagine you're not going to withstand. So yeah, any particular marks from that little list that you're looking for?
Right, there's a list.
If it doesn't fall exactly into that list, you can kind of, wiggle off of that.
Persistent conditions?
I
I don't know if that would supply. She's like, Isabel is not a supernal being.
Right.
But would she have a mark from one on her or something?
On her soul? Perhaps. Who knows? But yeah, in this particular case, I think there is a persistent condition. One that... Not in the gameplay capital C condition.
Sure. But
yeah, there is definitely like... I'm trying to think of how... yeah. So just because it's Gil Cowboys in the West, yeah, there is this supernal brand on her soul. It's kind of the vibe that you get, that little bit of image, the same kind of way that like, you saw Valoja, silence with a finger on her lips. Yeah, it's the same kind of like somebody is branded, and doesn't look like, or any other kind of mark. Doesn't necessarily have that whole, like, especially if we talked about branding a person. But somebody is marked her soul.
So it's not like a scarring.
Right.
It's like somebody drew a little, I'm keeping an eye on that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll arrange to be near Isabel after a couple minutes and say, you are, however, I can see marks on your, like a mark on your soul.
Pull the middle of Flame the Flutes.
It doesn't appear to be caused by any sort of damage or anything. It's just like somebody went and drew a little symbol on your shoulder almost, but it's your soul.
Huh. Okay then.
Okay. You should probably have a look at that sometime.
You should have the doctor look at that, yeah. Cool.
That looks like it might be a problem.
We can jump back over real quick to Gisela. Did you figure out what you were gonna say to your good buddy Jules?
I'm going to invite him to dinner.
Cool. All right. He has this definite, like, you look up from the palm reading, right? And then come to dinner, and he goes, I would be delighted. And like realizes he really probably shouldn't ask any questions because that would ruin the experiment. It's like, hey, yes, I would be delighted.
I feel like probably at the tavern, because I'm not trying to lead my mom on and think I'm courting.
Mm-hmm.
She's really hopeful.
She's real hopeful. She wants them grandbabies. But yeah. So basically get the whole family to go, or how do you mean backtracking a little bit?
Oh, like I'm not inviting him to my house for dinner.
Right. Gotcha. So
it's like, let's go out tonight, basically.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I would love that, and then we can go stargaze.
Sounds great.
Sounds romantic.
Ooh, it sounds sexy.
It's work.
It's work.
Sexy work.
So we cut over to Cloak / Legba with the Bauer family sitting out there, enjoying a meal as, Gisela kind of gets up and goes off with a man, and you watch Mama Bauer, eyes wide, like grabs her husband's knee. It's happening. It's happening. There's some undertones of he can't leave for London.
Mhm. So, yeah, I imagine that Gisela is going to introduce Cloak, or Cloak would be happy to introduce himself.
And that may have already happened.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Oh, so
whatever.
we're there and that's
figured-
already happened? Cool, great. All right.
Yeah, I figured you would be like sort of doing it from a distance
Yeah, perfect.
to sort of not let them know. But I mean, if you want to go introduce yourself and chat with them up close, that's fine too.
Especially
if
because
you would prefer that he does it at a distance where there's no interaction, then that's fine. But
The only thing I care about is that you not let my dad know that you're scrutinizing him, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's do it at a distance just to avoid any kind of weirdness. So Cloak is going to cast a few spells.
Yep.
Okay. And I will let you know what they are. So, of course, he's going to cast his Praxis.
Mm-hmm.
That being no nature, right? Needs to know some details about this man.
Absolutely.
He also wants to cast Correspondence. And he also wants to cast Mental Scan.
Do it up.
So, I can cast him whatever order you want.
Yep.
Let me type up Praxis first, but which would you prefer first?
Yeah, no nature is just fine.
Cool, let's do it.
That one is resisted. Mental scan is the one that's resisted. Yeah, that's what I was trying to make sure.
Yes.
I did those in the right order, because then you know if you need to increase points.
Excuse me. My trackpad screwed up. I'm sorry. No, I'm putting it.
Antonia
Right.
to Dietrich.
So, the reach I need. It's going to be instant cast, sensory range, and getting aspirations and obsessions.
I definitely haven't given him the vice and virtue.
Nope, it's a-okay. I'm filling stuff out.
You probably think up relevant ones.
3. I have 3. 2, 3. Don't need to increase potency. Or duration. Scale. Oh, some yantras. Well, Cloak is manifesting his arcane ability, trying to help a fellow member of the coven, and functioning as the master of understanding. So,
The master of unlocking.
so he's going to use his Persona Yantra, and then also uses his son for 5. So, with no penalties, that'll be 10 dice. Yes! And
Exceptional success.
he didn't need the praxis aspect. Give me that condition. Arcane beat.
Cool.
Get a willpower back.
Yeah, empathy. Bonus to empathy.
Cool.
Unless you want to apply it to good friend Friedrich. Good for it.
Oh. If I can give him a positive condition and still get the beat? Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
That was definitely one of the reasons I wanted to house rule that, because then people
That's
can
awesome.
be not so greedy with those. Yep.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, if I can give people beats by evaluating them or conditions that can help them, absolutely. So, one condition that would make sense to me is if I am evaluating what his goals are, perhaps I can put him in a mindset where he is better able to achieve those goals.
Cool.
Alright.
Yeah, I will. I mean, it'll be on my end anyways, but yeah, cool.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Just wanted to contribute some thoughts if it was helpful.
It is. All right.
Cool. So ready for a second spell?
Yes. Wait, actually, hang on, because you did know nature.
Yeah.
And so that means that you also know how many dots in mental and social attributes.
Mhm.
So virtue is hope. Vice is pessimism.
Ooh.
Duh.
Oh,
Runs in the
this is
family.
great.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you take the reach for specific attribute ratings or the total?
No.
Okay. So total number of mental and social together is. I almost counted aloud, which would have really made it very easy to figure out his stats. 15.
15. Oh, that's great. Way to go. Way to go, Friedrich. And then aspiration.
Ah, yes. He's got real simple aspirations. Don't die in the mine.
Cool.
Feed my family.
Yeah.
Get Gisela married.
All right. Cloak might be able to help with 2 of those.
Interesting that Gisela's desires and interests are not anywhere in any of those aspirations.
Is a dad in 1846.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that.
Okay,
full
cool.
aspirations and
Hope,
so-
pessimism. Don't die in the mines. Feed my family. Get Gisela married. Sounds good. Ready for number 2?
Absolutely.
Cool. So, space 1. Practice of knowing. All right. Let's see. This is instant cast and sensory range. So I need at least 2. I don't think I need anything else. Actually, let me see.
This was correspondence?
Yes.
Okay.
That subjects.
Yeah, potency to get a number of links.
I think. I'll get an additional +2 reach because there's a specific connection that Cloak is looking for. He doesn't care about a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
He cares about a possible connection to the curse.
Right.
Because he wants to perceive and understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be 4 reach.
Sure.
And I only have 1 free reach.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good thing I got a dedicated magical tool. This is 2. Space 1. Not going to increase potency because he's only going to look for 1 connection.
Mm-hmm. No withstand.
Cool. And bonus for Yanchas will be 5 again.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be 8 dice. Yeah, don't need to spend willpower.
You're going to spend mana on this to reduce the paradox further.
Yeah, I'll make it to a chance die. You know, Cloak. Gotta be smooth.
Nothing.
Alright, fantastic.
It's only
Cloak
2
doesn't
mana.
spend mana very often anyway, so
Waste some mana. Waste.
never waste, be careful. Hey, everyone else has gotten injured. The guy with all the scars on his face has yet to be injured.
Trying to avoid it at least.
Yeah.
In my defense, I got hit by a fucking lightning bolt.
I mean,
all
I
kinds of
haven't
crazy.
been badly injured.
Yeah. All right. 8 dice. Cool. Succeed.
All right. And so, yes, 1 connection from
Yes.
Friedrich to somewhere else. And how are you, couching that? Because after all, it is, as it says, in general terms.
Mm-hmm. So Cloak is in his mind. He's thinking that there is some chain associated with the curse or the fate or his family's history, right? So he's looking for a connection to, hereditary misfortune. That's what he's thinking. That's the kind of connection he's looking for. And of course, you can respond that manifests all kinds of different ways. It might not be the supernatural curse. It could be poverty. It could be all kinds of stuff. But that's how Cloak would think of it.
Yep. No. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, right, I'm in front of Twitch. Basically, you get hit by an image of Friedrich, young Friedrich, seeing dad's self-harm. And like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, that's real intense. I mean, Cloak cared about this guy because he's Gisela's father, right? But now he cares about him a lot more than he realized he would. This guy is going through his own pandemonium.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad comparison.
Then this is a greatly up to mental scan.
Yep.
He knows that this guy has high resolve or composure. He knows that he has these goals. He knows that hope is his virtue. Vice is pessimism, but he's appealing to hope to be his best self. And one of the things that has probably reinforced his intrinsic pessimism is this experience in the past and how he thinks it affects him. So he's now going to try and understand how he thinks about that in more detail.
Okay. And you're using mental scan, not what's the other one? Read the depths. You're going.
Oh, I guess I could do read the depths.
Yeah, either one. They do get two different kind of vibes, but yeah.
Yeah, let me think about it.
Oh.
Let's see.
As I'll tell you now, mental scan is basically going to get his thoughts on the picnic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what
I mean, you can ask a specific question, right, about how he thinks about something.
Yeah, just about like what they're thinking about.
All right, sounds good. I'm fine to do a 3-dot spell. No big deal.
No, it's good if you're talking to them because you can
steer,
bring something up,
Mm-hmm.
and then see what they think about it. But otherwise, if they're not already thinking about it,
Okay. Thank you for making that distinction.
Yeah.
Then we will do read the depths.
It gives you all sorts of stuff.
Now, oh, you know what? Yeah, Cloak's not into editing people's minds, so I'm not going to do that reach. So the two, so Cloak is going to take a reach for instant cast and a reach for sensory range.
It's a word.
I wanted to say sensory duration for a second. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. All right, cool. 2 reach. Good that the primary factor is potency.
Yep. Now that is
right.
already tacking on to the existing overreach. So you've got
I didn't understand what you just said.
because you've overreached once in this scene, so you have one extra paradox.
Oh, you're just commenting that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of the paradox dice pool, it's going to be +1 as a consequence of me
Right.
overreaching in a previous spell. Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then and your zone is already there. So yeah, so it's just going to be a chance die anyways.
Cool. Great.
I just want to get that out. Cool. That's already done.
Makes sense to me. All right. Starting potency is 3. I want to put it at 5 dice with yantras is 5. It's the max. So it's 10 dice. If I spend a willpower, I put it at 13. If I increase the potency to 6, that would mean even if he has a 5 resolve or composure, it would go through, which I think might be a good idea, considering this guy has gone through a shitload of stuff. So Cloak's assuming he's at least 4, right?
Okay.
Or I'm assuming it's at least 4. Cloak's thinking that he has a high resolve composure, right? That kind of thing. So I'm going to put it at 6 and roll 7 dice by spending a willpower. So a penalty of 6 to increase potency. 5, 3. Great. Oh, I should have put a minus sign, right?
That's fine. We
penalties.
know what it is.
Okay, cool. Great. And spell roll is, I think I just said 7 dice. There we go. That's a good roll.
Yeah. So delving into and yeah, you basically like you talk about like entering Theodosia. This is pretty it. And in a flash, and basically you are in for my sake, basically this house, it looks like it's old and back in Germany probably, and there's memories littered all over the place in objects and doorways and things like that, And what memory are you after, or idea?
The idea is perhaps when he thought the curse was imposed upon him.
Sure. And yeah, that's pretty easy to spot. It's a big thing that takes up a lot of space in this house. But yeah, there's because you just are getting his thoughts on it. He thinks that basically when his father died, the curse passed to him. And he was mid-20s or so when his father died, in his 40s, and basically like he had a normal life before then, and saw his dad having bad luck and thought, oh, it's just dad, that's just whatever. Was concerned about it, but couldn't possibly be real. And then bad things started happening. Antonia was there. He was already married. There's definitely some thoughts of, I'm so lucky I was married before this happened to me, because my relationships would have been ruined. Things happened, so he was late to work, or things fell apart, or tools broke and had to be constantly replaced. And he's just like, he went from, and he has specific memories tied to this. My life was fairly normal. This stuff didn't happen. And then all of a sudden it was happening all the time. Anytime he tried to do something went wrong. He was a walking Murphy's Law. It wasn't always necessary, devastating stuff. But it was never happening to the guy next to him, and it never affected everybody around him. It was just him. And that's when, wow. he thinks he was like 23, 24, and he's like, yep, nope, I'm cursed. This is definitely following me. This is definitely happening. It's not just, my imagination. And Antonia being there, definitely comes across as a like supporting thing. And she was like, because she also saw the change, and right, because she knew him and he was fine. And then all of a sudden this happened. It's like, this is far too real. You have one bad day a month, you don't make it, you don't care about it. You have one bad day every week.
Yeah. Is there any way I can get some sensation? Let me ask two questions that are more simple. When I see that memory, do I see all the details from an objective lens, or is it only his impression?
It's all from his thoughts and memories.
Cool. Sounds good. Then the second question is, do I have any impression of what his virtue and vice were before that?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Because I don't think your vice and virtue is something that you necessarily think about, and this is coming from his, his mind. You want to be hopeful, but everybody wants to be virtuous, right? And they want to avoid all vices. But yeah, the ones that really stand out for them, I think, is a little bit more. It does come from your subconscious. What? Screw it. It's not going to hurt anything. Before the curse, he was not nearly as pessimistic. He was probably a little bit more ambitious. And his vice was probably still hope. But I think his ambition died, and he just became pessimistic.
Great. So this is helpful, because in Cloak's mind, when bad things happen, we have a choice of what kinds of chains we form in association with them. So throughout this, he was hoping that he'd recognize some point at which Friedrich believed that he couldn't do anything about it. And in Cloak's mind, it doesn't matter what situation you're provided with, whether you're in chains, literal physical chains, or you are, destitute completely. The way Cloak thinks about it is that there's always opportunity for choice. It might be two pretty bad choices where you're in a different place, but you can still do something. And he thinks that over time you can build a new chain, something that can pull you elsewhere. So he's found a nugget of something that he thinks might help him help Gisela.
As kind of Cloak kind of steps out, and what was probably a couple long moments of digging through memories, suddenly just like, oh, that was just a split second of information just deluging into your head. We cut back to Gisela probably coming back with jewels, and I guess Isabel wandering through the crowd. Anything specific? Okay. Yeah. So we may fast forward a little bit towards the tavern that evening. The question is, Isabel, how often are you turning your mage sight on to see if it's still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always there.
I think after a point, it's like, okay, I get it.
Is it following or is it only around the tavern? Because that's where you saw it the first time.
Saw it the first time. Saw it in the bedroom. Turning it on out in the out towards the green.
On the green.
It's curled up around the big tree. Well, big. Yeah, and it's superimposed over all these people who are sitting and eating and laughing and stuff like that. Yep. I think at one point you open your eyes and you're like, oh, it's gone. And you turn around and it is laying across a house.
Across the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, at some point it's like, all right, I'll save that for later because it doesn't appear to be going away.
Yep. Yes, that the specific spot where the wolf is overlaid. Yes, the people are eating like they're hungry like a wolf. Yes, thank you, Perry.
One thing I find really delightful in Chris's expression sometimes they're in response to things that people are doing that are hilarious when he does it, and he's just like, it's my thing, don't do this. It's great.
Cool.
It's called hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I know it's intentional and it's humorous.
Yep.
I wanted to appreciate that in case no one else is calling it out. It's great. I love it.
So
Perry and I have been doing this to each other for years too. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. That's good stuff.
Yeah, they were roommates.
Yep.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Anyways,
You okay?
I think I broke Chris.
Oh god.
Discord muted it, but don't worry, YouTube guys. I made sure to leave the laugh in.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes. We fast forward to the tavern that evening, unless there's any red flags or anything like that. On the menu today, chicken, beef stew, and imagine Isabel is working. Theo, you're working if you want to, especially
Sure.
Sunday. Sunday's one of the days where people are like, oh yeah, let's have somebody else cook for us. There's a few occurrences, and of course there's usually a lot more minors because the shifts aren't happening, so people are piling in for dinner and stuff like that. And I don't think Madame Robert apologizes, but she's effusive and is glad you're here to help and stuff like that, and the teasing isn't there.
Theo will be when Robert asks her to work, Theo will be surprised. Me?
Yes.
Oh, well, of course. I'd be happy to. Lay it on a little thick.
Right, sure. And I think Madame Robert even goes so far as to be like, well, yes, you have a house that you're building, right? You need this money. She expects you to be here, or is expecting that you would be here.
Told you it was fine.
And so, yes, everybody who needs to be there is there. I imagine Legba is up with, has has the cult started to so I imagine originally it was a big like family dinner kind of thing within the cult, but has it started to kind of separate out a little bit more? Some people are coming down to the tavern, other people, especially because I know there were couples within the cult who are like, we're going to go have dinner together and make something ourselves. Or is it still a very like, no, we all eat together kind of thing?
It wasn't until the bridge, and we discussed that it's important for people to make their presence known. So Cloak, Sanite, and Missy J have encouraged people to choose to go into the tavern and eat elsewhere when they're comfortable.
Sure.
But otherwise, of course, they'll always be welcome.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. And I think you're starting to even see like some of the cult eating with the families of some of the miners.
Cool.
And stuff like that.
That's
some
great.
of the other miners where just like these, couple little friendships have come up, and it's very tentative and awkward a little bit, but they're like, yeah, I mean, hey, you actually, okay. And people are finding interests, some of those hobbies that, don't come up much in the cult, but it's like, oh, this other miner over the other mine has this same hobby, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we pick up with Jules and Gisela eating or preparing to eat. How do you handle him not eating the beef stew?
I was going to order for us.
Okay. And I think you probably give the order to, Isabel, which makes Isabel like grin because, I mean, let's be honest, Gisela just snuck in and just ordered for Jules, right? The order is put in, and Arcelia steps in to help and gets tables mixed up, and suddenly there is a bowl of beef stew sitting in front of Jules and a plate of chicken in front of Gisela.
That's great.
I'm gonna ask to trade. That does look good, actually. Would you mind?
And he's looking at it like intently. He's like, well, I mean, it does look really good. Kind of looks over at the chicken. The chicken is like, not their best. I guess the plate swap happens. And you eat really good beef stew, and he's eating some sad chicken.
It's probably roasted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Yeah. But I mean, when you compare the two, yeah.
Still a win for me.
Yep. Do you have a little smile on your face as you start eating the beef stew? And more specifically, do you tell him?
Once we're done eating, yes.
Gotcha. Was the meal has completed? Yeah. I thought about playing it up and being like, oh yeah, it's some ideas. Oh, did you want the beef stew? Well, I would write the chicken and like all this. No, stop. And like the spoon has to come out. But yeah, no, you have no problem making sure that he has chicken, you have the beef stew.
Yes, and then I tell him that your fortune was that you would have the stew.
He looks down.
Or your future that I saw.
Right. Kind of looks down at his plate, like still kind of picking at some chicken bones, and goes, really?
Yes, that was what I saw. And so I changed it. If I had told you, you could have changed it.
It's true. It's very...
Sorry about your stew.
It's fine. I mean, it kind of like reaches over and touches the bowl, and then like suddenly pulls his hand back like real fast. He realizes, oh, like I could still end up eating the beef stew. But cool. Anything you guys do there at the tavern that night besides Jules realizing, I can change my future?
No, that's it for me. And then we just head up to look at the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna bring Cloak?
Right, because that was the question I was going to ask is how do you guys, or do you arrange for Cloak to show up, or does Cloak just?
Don't
they're
win.
just
Cloak is just
coming.
gonna come.
Okay, perfect.
Are
That's
you
kind
going
of
to
the
pave the
expectation.
way, or are you just going to let it be a surprise?
I figured he'd just show.
Right.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, he's
no,
gonna go up to Mortimer and like, ask him how he's doing. Yeah, that's awesome. You weren't listening.
Cool. I kind of appreciate. So, like, obviously everything is happening, after sundown. How close to sundown? Because at this point I've got 10 minutes, so I'm vamping a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to vamp and just waste some time because I have important news for everybody, or more specifically, those sitting at home. Craig, you already know all this.
Yeah.
So next week I will be off on vacation, and therefore there will be no Into the West on Friday. But have hope. Chris is running Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
So excited.
I'm so excited.
And so this will be the second game of Thirsty Swords Lesbians that I'm missing out on, but I will be able to watch the VOD and maybe potentially watch live. The idea of watching Thirsty Sword Lesbians on my parents' TV and making them watch along. No, that's probably
That's too much.
That's way too. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of fucks.
Yep.
This is happening.
Yeah. Apparently, my dad has caught an episode at least. And I'm like,
Oh wow,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, or I don't know,
Which
maybe he's watching
campaign?
now. This one.
The cast. Oh, cool. Wow.
He's
all
a
right.
big Western fan. So.
Oh, cool. That makes sense then.
Yep.
You'd be like, he told him the setting.
I've tried to explain it to my father a couple times, and the storytelling bit, he doesn't understand. He's like, well, so how do you decide who wins?
Yeah.
See, because my dad has played D&D and I've run D&D for my dad, so like he gets that part.
Your parents are cool.
Yeah, my dad plays a barbarian the way Chris plays a barbarian.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go.
And my mom played a cleric and said, well, he got into this mess. He can get himself out. I'm like, he's low
Very
on
good,
health.
yes.
And she's like, it's fine. It's a bar brawl. What's the worst that can happen? And I was like, oh, it's going to be like that.
I'll tell you what happens.
Yep. So yes, that does mean next week I will be away, but the four of them will carry on in best Occultist Anonymous tradition and be very, very gay. Do you want to share with everybody the premise, Chris, or are you gonna just? Okay.
We can share the premise. The premise is going to be that these three folks and possibly some other NPC characters, whilst in college, were a friend group thrust together by becoming magical girls and saving the town, the world, something from the Eidolons. And they permanently ended the threat and went on to go about their lives. They grew apart, as friends sometimes do when you end up in different parts of the country or the world. And those friendships whittle down to, a phone call for a birthday or something, maybe even less than that. And so the story will pick up with the threat is coming back, and now you are very different people. And can you still be a magical girl when you're a jaded, early 30s adult?
The answer is probably yes.
It's gonna be yes. Oh, we're gonna be real beastly, real sexy. It's gonna be real good.
Get it in the next Shinji. Oh lord. Yeah. Chat is probably going to be nuts. So come
real good.
So come hang out. Have a good old time. Yell at them on my behalf. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to watch. But yes, get the bonks ready. Yeah. It is called Thirsty Sword Lesbians for a reason. Yeah.
You're gonna need to bonk that beast. It's happening.
Who will read the Patreon list? Probably Chris. Chris. Chris has access to it. So, yep. Yeah. Troll away.
You can say whatever you want. You have the power.
Whatever you want.
That's true.
Whether I read it.
Yep.
Just let the channel know. Yep.
Yep.
I'll just willingly go and I'll break out. That's what's happening.
So cool. As always, come by Discord, yeetinto.space, www.yeetinto.space, and come join us. Come join the shenanigans. Meet some of these people that you've heard us yell about in Twitch chat. Come hang out with your Twitch chat buddies in Discord. So it's live 24/7. And we do actually have a pretty global community. Somebody's almost always
cool.
chatting. I always wake up
cool.
and like people have been talking about stuff. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff for me to read as I wake up in the morning, and I really should stop. Like I need more brain power before I read 50 pages or 50.
Gotta make sure y'all
comments
didn't
and
fuck
stuff.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times I'll just see like 50 plus messages and scroll and it just keeps adding, and I'm like, whatever, jump to press on. It's in the past.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Nobody needs my feedback now. Yeah.
And just cursory check. Nobody's hurt anybody's feelings.
Chris just said he's going to find out if anybody fucked around.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Come by Patreon, patreon.com/occultistsanonymous or staylucky.club. If you want to support us monetarily. Again, I'm going to reiterate what I mentioned last week or the week before. If you have interest in Patreon, but you're like, I don't know that it's worth my money, totally allowed to say that. If you have suggestions for what we could do, please reach out. I think you can direct message us on Patreon, but you can also message on Discord. And well, I'd love to hear your opinions. We want to offer more stuff to you if we can. Amanda had a brilliant idea of instead of me live streaming my prep, which requires me to be like really kind of on, I may actually just do my prep, which may be short and often is, and record it and post it exclusively to Patreon on Thursdays. So do my prep on Wednesday. So if you want a preview and a little spoilery stuff occasionally of what may be happening on Friday, that might be a thing. So I got to figure out how best to make that work, but that might be a thing that should be not a lot of extra effort on my end. So see you all in 2 weeks. You guys can see these smiling faces next week.
You know it.
And y'all have a good evening, morning, afternoon.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Have a time.
Have a time.
Have a time.